You've built a modern, responsive application. Every network request is async, every file read is non-blocking. Yet, as soon as your user imports a large dataset, say a 500 MB telemetry log, the entire interface turns into a brick. You click a button, and nothing happens for 3 seconds. You check your code, it's all wrapped in promises. You're using the latest frameworks. So why is the main thread gasping for air? The tension here lies in a fundamental misunderstanding of the event loop. In environments like Node, Jest or Electron, async does not mean parallel. When you perform a CPU-intensive task, like parsing a massive JSON object or calculating a cryptographic hash, that work happens right on the main thread. While the CPU is crunching those numbers, it cannot handle mouse clicks, it cannot render animations, and it cannot respond to user input. You've hit the wall of single-threaded execution. The solution seems obvious. Just move the work to a background process. But as we are about to discover, simply adding a worker often introduces a hidden tax that can be even more expensive than the original problem. We are entering the world of multi-process orchestration, where the way you move memory is just as important as the work you're doing with it. Common intuition suggests that if the main thread is busy, we should just spawn a worker thread or a child process. It sounds simple, but this is where many performance engineers stumble. When you send data to a worker in JavaScript using the standard post message API, the engine uses something called the structured clone algorithm. It doesn't just pass a pointer to the data, it recursively copies every single property, every nested object, and every value into a new memory buffer. Think about the implications. If you have a 200 MB object and you send it to a worker to be processed, you are now using 400 MB of RAM. But more importantly, the main thread, the very thing you were trying to keep free, is now stuck performing the serialization. It's busy walking the object tree and copying bytes. If the object is complex enough, the act of sending the work to the worker takes longer than doing the work on the main thread. This is the serialization tax. It's the primary reason why multi-threaded applications can sometimes feel slower and more memory hungry than their single-threaded counterparts. To fix this, we have to stop thinking about sending data and start thinking about sharing it. Inter-process communication, or IPC, is the bridge between your main application and its workers. In a high-pressure environment like a local LLM runner or a video editor, this bridge becomes a bottleneck. Every time a message crosses the IPC boundary, it undergoes a transformation. In Node, Jest, for example, messages between child processes are often converted to JSON strings and sent over a pipe. This involves stringification on one end and parsing on the other. When you're building for performance, you have to measure the round-trip overhead. If you're orchestrating dozens of small tasks, the overhead of the IPC channel will dwarf the actual execution time. This leads to process thrashing, where the system spends more CPU cycles managing the communication than it does on the logic. The revelation here is that memory is the ultimate communication channel. Instead of moving data across the bridge, what if both processes could look at the same piece of memory simultaneously? This is where we transition from message passing to shared memory architectures. But it comes with a catch. Once memory is shared, you lose the safety of isolation. You now have to manage race conditions and synchronization yourself. Let's look at a real-world consequence. Imagine an Electron-based code editor trying to provide real-time syntax highlighting for a massive project. If it uses a child process and sends the entire file content over IPC on every keystroke, the memory usage will spike exponentially. Each process maintains its own heap, its own garbage collector, and its own copy of the data. Eventually, the operating system's OOM killer steps in and terminates the worker, leaving the user with a broken interface. This isn't just a theoretical limit. It's a daily reality for applications dealing with large-scale data. The copy-on-write optimizations that operating systems use for forking processes don't help much here. because the application level data is constantly being modified. We need a way to bypass the overhead entirely. We need zero copy transfers in the browser and node. Yes, this is achieved through transferable objects. When you transfer an array buffer, the original process literally loses access to it. The pointer is moved from one heap to another. It's instantaneous, it uses zero extra memory, and it keeps the main thread completely free. But it's a one-way street. Once you transfer it, you can't get it back without transferring it again. The ultimate tier of orchestration is the shared array buffer. This is a special type of memory that can be accessed by multiple threads at the same time. No copying, no transferring, just pure shared raw bytes. To make this work safely, we use the atomics object. Atomics allows us to perform operations like wait and notify or add and sub, ensuring that two threads don't try to write to the same byte at the exact same time. This is how high-performance engines like SQLite, when compiled to BOASMEM or heavy-duty image processors, operate. By pre-allocating a large shared array buffer and using it as a circular buffer or a shared heap, you can achieve near-native performance. The takeaway is clear: as a performance engineer, your job isn't just to write fast code, it's to design a memory topology that minimizes movement. Use worker threads for CPU-bound tasks, but use transferable objects to avoid the serialization tax. For ultra-low latency, reach for shared array buffer and atomics. Stop treating your processes as isolated islands and start treating them as coordinated actors sharing a single, optimized stage. This is how you build applications that stay buttery smooth. No matter how much data you throw at them,